That's a hard introduction to follow. Ladies, how many of you here feel that you're very confident? And how many of you would like to have more confidence? Well, this is the subject of my little talk today. I think something that we really need to appreciate is that confidence is a muscle. And it's the same as going to the gym to build your physical muscles. You can build your confidence muscles too. We've all had moments in our lives where we felt absolutely invincible, even if that lasted a split second. But I think for a lot of us, it's more common to have those moments where we think, oh, I can't do this, they're more competent than me, I don't have the resources for this situation. But there's a very simple technique that I'm going to teach you, and that's how to manage your state so that you can realign with the confident person that you truly are on the inside. Because we are amazing, incredible, resourceful beings, but most of the time we just don't appreciate that or remember that. Just to illustrate the point about confidence being a muscle, I heard Bjorn Borg interviewed recently. Does everybody remember Bjorn Borg, the Wimbledon star? It was fascinating to hear him speak. He said that despite the fact he'd won so many tournaments, when he used to get up to the baseline to serve, he was terrified that he'd throw the ball in the air and miss. His mind was telling him all the stories about, you've had so much success, do you think you're going to carry on, be able to pull this off, yada, 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 yada. But every time he threw that ball, his body was so conditioned that it was just an automatic response. And we can do that with confidence so that we can tap into that. And then it's really useful to be able to remember those states and anchor them. And in doing that, you can either use a physical anchor like clicking your fingers. You've remembered the situation where you've been very confident, where you felt really, really at the top of your game, and focusing on that, click your fingers at the same time, and that will actually anchor in your physiology. For those of you that have done NLP, say that our neurology is very conditionable. So that's just one little aside. The biggest thing, the most simple thing that I'm going to draw up here for you now is something called the triad, or the points of power. Now, this isn't my model, this is by Anthony Robbins, who is considered the expert in the field of personal development and has been the top of that field for the last 30 years. He calls this the triad, and he said there's 3 points of power that will really help you stay in tune with your confidence. The first one is your physiology. This is how you hold yourself. You can tell me how you recognise somebody that's depressed by the way they hold themselves. Marina, I'm going to pick on you because I know you'll be a willing victim. If somebody's depressed, how would you expect them to hold themselves?
You find the shoulders coming forward, chest is quite low down, head's maybe struggling to come above the parapet.
Is their breathing shallow or full?
Usually pretty shallow.
And their head, yeah. And then when they speak, are they are they bold with their speaking, or are they?
No, quite low.
No.
Awkward, looking around.
Mm-hmm. And if you held yourself like that, even if you didn't feel depressed or if you sat in that position physically long enough, you'd actually start to feel it, because that's your body's telling you. And I can't remember the lovely lady's name here, but Francesca. Did you notice how Francesca's posture? Her chest was open, shoulders back. That was just the epitome of confidence. And we can model that. We can, even if we don't feel like it, we can decide that we're going to stand in that manner, and it will start to set off a chain reaction in our neurology that says, yes, I can do this, I can be confident. The second part of the triad is language. And this is tied in with people's perception of, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? That we talk about that, that's a commonly known perception of people, but it can be reflected in our language. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had a really bad day and you come home and your partner says to you, or your children, how was your day? And you're like, oh, I had a terrible day. It was, oh, my boss did blah, 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 or I missed the train. And as you focus on that more and more, it expands. It actually becomes even worse because of the energy and the focus that you're putting into that. Whereas even if you've had a horrible day, if you come home and you're like, oh well, it was a bit tedious, it was a bit, you know, a bit of a pain, but never mind, it's over, then you've taken your energy away from that. Your language actually either minimises or maximises your experience. So that's something that's really a small thing and something that we don't always remember, but it's a very, very positive part of your confidence as well. So if you speak confidently, then you'll feel more confident. And the final part is focus. What we focus on, as I've said with language, expands. So if we've got, you know, we're all here, we're all fairly new business owners or in the early stages of our business. And if you think back to the times that you were thinking about starting up, if you remember your goals, if you remember your vision really for why you were going to start the business and what it meant to you, just take a couple of minutes to just, a couple of seconds now to just think about that when you're thinking of setting up this business that you're in now or rebranding. And how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel excited again about your business? Yeah. Again, you're focusing on all the positive things, you're focusing on the good things rather than, oh, you know, this job didn't work out, this contractor's let me down, because those things will always be there, they'll always be, you know, a part of our business lives. But we have a choice, we always have a choice what we focus on. And the more we condition ourselves to focus on the positive, the more we'll feel positive, the more we'll feel confident. So that's the triad, or the points of power. It's a very small thing, but if you keep this in mind, these three things, and they work together, if you just watch yourself over the next few days, if you're feeling grumpy, see how your body's feeling, how are you holding yourself? If you're feeling negative or depressed or a little uncertain, see how you're holding yourself. Remind yourself what your language is. Are you speaking positive words or are you complaining about the situation? And if you want to look at it from an energetic perspective, everything is energy, we're created from energy, every part of us. We can attract the same vibration, so it's always better to be kind of vibrating on a positive level. And that's for those of us in the room who are a little woo-woo. There's always got to be a bit of woo-woo, hasn't there? And focus. What we focus on expands. How am I doing good time? 3 minutes, okay, so let's just play with this a little bit. I'm going to ask you all ladies to stand up. And this is what I like to call the cape walk. There's not really enough room to walk about today, but just imagine that you've got a fabulous flowing cape from your shoulders. How would you hold yourself? How would you walk if you had that cape on? You're going to the opera or you're some superhero. Thank you, Annie. She's got it straight away. Brilliant. But that's the thing, kind of thing. That's just a little bit of fun. Say you're going into a business meeting, and I've done that. I mean, can you imagine my chagrin when I stand up to speak on confidence and I have two communication experts in the room? Thank you. But do the cape walk. Imagine you are invincible, because really you are. And also, you know, we're not out there. It's not. A lot of these responses are from our primal conditioning. We're not out there killing buffalo. We're just going to a business meeting, or just spending time with friends that, you know, we might feel a little intimidated by. You are fabulous ladies. Each one of you has authentic gifts, and nobody can give anyone else those gifts but you. So remember you're phenomenal women, and remember the triad to help you with your confidence. Thank you very much.